Welcome to week number 2 of the 2023 season, and Turn Up Bear Down is back, and we are frustrated. So let's get right into it. A new
Gotta love
segment.
technology.
A new segment. I almost forgot to introduce my co host, Matt Jansen, the pride of Northside. How's that sound?
Right. Clover up, baby. That sounds great.
Yeah, there we go. Weekly reaction. We got two games that we watched week one. Well, I watched more than that. You probably did as well. But we got the Chiefs and the Lions and the Bears and the Packers. What are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Chiefs a little bit fluky. I think they'll get back on track in the next couple weeks, unless those Bears love you too, buddy. Unless those Bears have something to do with it. Week 3, there at Gia Gaya, however you want to say it. It's gonna be freaking Soldier South is what it's gonna be.
Wow,
Anyways,
that's
I,
big.
I also was really impressed with that Miami Dolphins offense. That's just kind of left off where it was last year. Um, and yeah, Green Bay beat us again. So feels like a normal year, just another year
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, I know that we were super disappointed. Ironically, David Montgomery's in this picture, beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead week one, opening night, and then same old Bears. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I was frustrated. Literally had to go for a run as soon as the game was over. Got in a good like 2.5 miles. Probably could have gone for like 25 miles, but was running out of time. And honestly, I was kind of sick. And I think the Bears contributed that until about Wednesday. Finally got a little bit over it, and I'm ready to be disappointed again tomorrow. So let's talk about this week's game.
Hey, I will say, I mean, if you look across the league, look at the Bengals. They had a stinker.
Oh yeah,
Um, look at look at the Vikings. They lost to the Buccaneers, who were obviously we're playing this week. Pittsburgh gets clobbered by the Santa Fe 49ers, as my wife calls it.
they're actually good
So
though.
just a weird week one, but I mean,
Yeah,
half the league's going to start 0-1, half the league's going to start 1-0, unless you kiss your sister and tie. So
yeah,
it's I think this is going to be a defining win where some teams are going to separate or bounce back.
absolutely. And a lot of people are saying the Bears are going to bounce back. Actually, I'm kind of surprised because a part of me feels like it could be a long year, which it still could, and we can still bounce back. But let's talk about this week's game. We play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now led by the great Baker Mayfield. Interesting. So he's definitely going to be one of the players to keep your eye on. He did suffer a little bit of an injury last week, and I'm curious to see how that's going to affect him. But if the Bears don't pressure the quarterback like they did once last week, it won't matter too much. Mike Evans had a decent week. We'll see him. Obviously, he's going to be feasting. Hopefully, not on whoever he's being guarded by. Probably Jalen Johnson, and then Anton Winfield Jr., the safety. Will he be focused on Justin Fields all week? Probably. For the Bears, I'm looking for Justin Fields to have a big impact on the game as per usual. Hopefully, Darnell Wright, the rookie right tackle, can make some big plays in the running game and protect Fields. And then Tyreek Stevenson, he'll be returning home to Florida, I guess, even though he went to the University of Miami. Can he fill in and do the job as cornerback with Kyler Gordon out? Even though he's not necessarily just in the slot, but can he get the job done? Who else are you looking for to impact this week's game, or maybe one of these guys you're really looking at?
Yeah, I think at least for the Bears, it's going to start with the whole line. I'm sure if you were on the internet, you got to see Green Bay pretty much beat that picture of the Packers defensive line beating every single Bears offensive lineman on a few dropbacks. And again, even though I thought we ran the ball effectively in the pass protecting game, it just was not there. And we were simply outmatched. So I do think the Bears offensive line, like most weeks, is going to be under scrutiny and have to play well. Something also that I thought was interesting was I saw an interview with it pretty much was some Bear content and some people talking about the Bears, and they said that it seemed like Bears play caller Luke Getzey kind of took the Justin Fields out of Justin Fields. I know we want him to be a better drop back passer, but it seemed like that pretty much they wanted him to just stay in the pocket, And really, there was only one design quarterback run in a game where, Justin Fields' best attribute, the one thing that he can do that nobody else in the NFL can do, other than maybe you talk about Lamar Jackson, is run the ball.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to see us maybe sprinkle in some more of those design runs. Obviously, he has to get better at pocket presence, throwing from the pocket. We talked about that. I mean, that's the next step for him. But I will say that I think we didn't really truly utilize his skill set last week, and I'd like to see us just let him be him, and while we're continuing to try and develop him in the pocket. On the other side, man, I don't think anybody got more disrespected in fantasy drafts than Tampa Bay wide receivers. They got Chris Godwin, they got Mike Evans. I mean, formidable receivers, really good receivers that are still somewhat in their prime. I would say maybe Chris is on the back end of it, and so is Mike, but still in prime years. I mean, they're still special impact players. So, I mean, Tom Brady era is over. It's just a different feel to their team. And now you're talking about Baker Mayfield's 1-0, and he's as confident as ever, right? I mean, and I think he's got the team behind him. Played a relatively clean game without a lot of turnovers or if any last week, which is rare. So that's going to be a big thing. Is Baker either going to if Baker turns the ball over, this is a game we can have. If Baker doesn't, Baker continues that trend, man, it's going to be difficult to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week.
Yeah. Looking for our first turnover of the season, as last
Yeah.
week we did not have one of them. Gave away the
I saw.
ball plenty of
Sorry,
times.
Scotty. I saw that there's a team in the MAC that has a turnover tire.
I saw that as well.
Maybe we need to bring that down with us
Yeah.
and utilize that. It's magical abilities.
Yeah. It said, don't ever change Maction. Gotta love the Mac. I love when they used to play on like Tuesday nights back in the day.
Oh yeah,
So
always take the over.
yep. Yeah. So look, Bears looking for their first turnover, and you actually outlined some amazing ways in which the Bears could win. But here's what I'm looking for this week, especially with last week being just so absolutely brutal. The third down defense has got to be better. We actually got the Packers to third down quite a bit, and so our first and second down defense wasn't too bad. And then we left open receivers, we left open running backs, tight ends, like wide open. I could have thrown the ball to him. And you just have to do better on third down. The Packers' third down efficiency is really why we lost the game, if we're being honest. On offense, we got to throw a couple deep shots. Like, I don't know if Fields can't see the guys or what's happening, but we have to throw the ball downfield and do something to get some chunk plays, because last week was just, well, for one, it was really bad on offense, but for two, there was no threat ever. And I'm looking for some of these stars to emerge. So can DJ Moore get 6 catches for 80 yards? Can Khalil Herbert make more happen in the running game and catching game? I did like Rashawn Johnson, the rookie, last week. He had a great game.
Yeah,
And then on
he
the
was smart,
defense,
wasn't he?
yeah, he really was. And I think that's going to bode well for his season this year. But also, like, some of these defensive players have to make things happen. Jalen Johnson, I don't think he necessarily had a bad game last week, but he's got to make a play that can like change something, or Brisker, or send somebody for a blitz. I guess we did have like one sack last week. Ngakwe did get one at the end there, and then man, Dak finds Lamb. That's not good. That is not good.
You did that late at night.
Yeah, I really thought that this was better than that, but yeah, I mean, for the Bucs, it's gonna be really simple. Um, is Baker gonna find those receivers that you mentioned? Because if they are open and he finds them, like last week, wide open wide receivers, you can't win the football game if that happens. The Bucs forcing turnovers, though, that is always a threat. Justin Fields, I don't necessarily agree with others that he is careless with the ball. Um, Maybe one or two bad passes a game, I get that, but I don't think he's too bad at holding onto the ball. It's just when you run a lot, you might fumble the ball more often. But if we lose the turnover battle like we did last week, we don't have a chance. And again, the Bucs dominate the time of possession. Like last week, it felt so often like the Packers had the ball a lot and they were just taking these long drives. that's definitely a really easy way to beat any team, but especially us when we can't really seem to come back and score points. So, any other path to victory that you have?
Yeah, man, I hope Dak throws a lot of touchdowns to Lamb this weekend.
Yeah.
I have the great fortune of having to start him in one of my leagues, but no, I would say, man, you hit it right on the head with the whole third down defense, man. I don't know. I got the feeling like we went very soft on third down. We did not bring a lot of pressure to force Jordan Love to make a quick decision, to make him uncomfortable. And I just don't think we have the front four to just send them and expect them to be able to make plays left and right. I
Yeah.
just we're not there yet. We don't have those kind of guys. I think Yannick is one, but other than that, we still got guys that are still finding their way a little bit. So
Bunch of
one
rookies.
yeah, a bunch of young guys, and I'm not saying that they don't have talent. I just think that there's just some time that they need to play the game and understand it and understand moves and counter moves, and maybe just let that game slow down a little bit so they can be more of an impact. But the other thing that I think teams mentioning is, Matt Eberflus is calling the defense this week.
That would be
Alan
interesting.
Williams, yeah, Alan Williams is not traveling with the team. I don't think he's got some personal stuff dealing with, and we wish him well with that, obviously. But I would just love to see Eberflus, excuse me, just maybe just stay a little bit more aggressive, knowing that he isn't the D coordinator, and this is just kind of his old calling, and he can just go. And I mean, if you look back at Baker Mayfield in his career, when he's blitzed, when he's got people in his face, he's Baker Mayfield. He's
Yep.
gonna throw the ball. He got a little splash of Jay Cutler in him. So
Yeah.
man, I would love to see that, and hopefully we just get a little bit of a change in tendency patterns. Um, but yeah, you're right. The back end's going to have to make some plays, whether that's just either knockaways, pass breakups, or hopefully our first pick. So
Yeah.
that's big. I do think maybe some design rollouts, not a lot, but just some more design rollouts for our boy JF1. Um, and I love like Roshan. I didn't even know what we had with him. When we drafted him and watched him in camp, he looked like he had the. I mean, he looked by far the more explosive back between him. I mean, remember him running over that Green Bay defender for a first
Absolutely.
down. I mean,
That was
absolutely
awesome.
blowing him up
Yeah.
like a Pop Warner, like a IM12, kid that's way too evolved to be his age, runs over a 5'4", you know.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, impressive stuff. So I'd love to see him more involved in the offense as well. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, no, those are kind of some things that I just hope that we can build on from last week.
All right. Well, we'll carry that into the next thought here. We got Rashawn Johnson at 85 yards. What's the over under on that? We got Baker at 1.5 turnovers over under. The actual over under the game is 40.5 points. Total wide receiver touchdowns 1.5, and Bears sacks given at 2.5. So went through here and just found some interesting things that I would like to see happen in this game. Think that will be good. IBM Watson actually came up with these. So yeah.
Well, is that Roshan Johnson's actual number?
No, he's number
Okay.
35.
No. I'm saying like his actual prop number, because
Oh, I don't
I
know.
bet you, I bet you it's under 50. If it's under 50, I would say, oh yes,
Yeah, I
put
bet.
the house on it.
Although I put
85.
85 yards on here, so that could be catching and running.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking, what if this is like a breakout game for him? Where like last week he had a pretty good game, and what if like, hey, he breaks one run and has like a couple
Yeah.
catches. It's not crazy to see like 85 yards for a running back when you factor in catches and rushes.
No. He's a breakout game away from potentially taking over this backfield. If I'm being honest,
I
like
don't
I
I
mean,
would be surprised.
that's where I think it is at this point. I'm going to say under on that. I do think Baker gets more than 1.5. I like that number. I
Dang.
am going to go with the over as well. You guys got me last week. I took the under, and I was teasing you about it at halftime, and then
Yeah.
and then I think the over hit before the fourth quarter hit. So total wide receiver touchdowns 1.5. Ooh, I don't know. I'm going to say under there. I think Komet gets involved, and then Bears sacks given. How many was it last week?
Um,
A lot.
4, I think.
Okay.
But we only got like what, 1 or 2? I know we
Yeah.
got 1.
I'm gonna say under on that one.
Yeah.
Under. I think we hold up, or I think we run the ball good enough to kind of keep Justin Fields out of the sights of their defensive line.
Yeah. I'm going over 85 for Rashawn, thinking he has a big day. Kind of a mix though. I could see like 50 yards rushing, 35 yards receiving. And he'll get 1 more yard. Baker's only gonna have 1 turnover. If we get other turnovers, are gonna come from like fumbles. I'm gonna say under 40.5. I feel like this is gonna be a nasty game. Like the Bucs are gonna drop off, and we might play a little better. And I think it'll be a nasty, ugly game where, well, you'll see in my final prediction. Total wide receiver touchdowns. I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna say Evans gets a touchdown, and I'm gonna go with DJ Moore's got to get a touchdown in this game. So
Hey, I like that. Yeah, no, I just adding on that, all my Kansas gamblers out there, Roshan Johnson is plus 500 for an anytime touchdown tomorrow.
ooh,
That seems feasible.
that
That's a
seems
lot of money.
like you get in the red zone, and after
Yep,
you get stopped on first and second down, you get it to him.
that's right.
And
You give it to him twice.
then you give it to him on fourth down too,
That's
or
right.
you give it to Cole Kmet behind center. Um, I'm gonna say that the Bears are gonna give up 3 sacks tomorrow at least. So I feel like it's just too easy. Because, like, really, it's like here is 2 times when the offensive line didn't block anyone, and here is 1 time when Justin Fields ran into a sack. So I think that's fair. So, all right, it's everybody's favorite time of the show that we do on YouTube for free. It's the stumper time. What do we got?
All right, so with us playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, doing some research, there's been quite a few players over the years that have played for both franchises.
Oh,
And
wow.
without you cheating, I need you to look either up at the ceiling or down for our viewers.
All right, I'll look
Could you name 3 players that have played for both the Bears and the Buccaneers?
Okay. I'm gonna go with, I know Brian Greasy did, I believe. Um, I was looking at some stats earlier. I know he played for us as a backup, um, way back in the day. Maybe like Rex Grossman here. Anyway, I know he's one of them. Okay. Um, then I might get into some tough ones here. Hold
I'll
on.
start giving you some hints here in a
Wait,
little
wait,
bit.
wait, wait,
After we
wait.
go.
Josh McCown did.
Boom.
Wow, 2 quarterbacks.
You're
That's
Brian Greasy.
crazy.
I'm not seeing him on this list. Brian Greasy's not on this list.
Oh,
I think
he
maybe.
definitely did. So you need to check that because he played for us. He backed up Rex Grossman, and
Oh,
he
I know he played for us.
and
Yeah,
he
I thought he was.
also he won a game against us for the Bucks. That's how I know. And it was a game back in like
There wasn't Bob.
2000. No, it was like 2009. It was a game we should have won easy, but we choked and fell apart. They scored 2 times in like 2 minutes. Win it overtime, we lost. Okay, I got 2 though. Let's go with. Oh, man, I haven't picked anyone that played for the Bucks and then ended up playing for the Bears yet. So that's not good. Shoot. I feel like this should be easy.
It
Cause,
is. I mean,
cause
you're gonna kick yourself when I tell you.
Lovey Smith coached for them.
Yep. Yep.
Um, all right, hold on. Give me 1 more second here.
Those eyes need to stay up or down. They're really flirting, right? If you were in my class, I would think you're cheating right
I've
now.
got allergies. My eyes are running.
Yeah.
They're itching.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Get some Flonase.
Did Akeem Hicks play for the Bucs?
He did.
All
Yeah,
right,
he
I got
did.
3. There we go. That
Yeah.
was recent.
Got Mike Lennon. You got Cairo
Oh,
Santos is a Buck
Glennon.
to Bear.
Man, Glennon the Buck to Bear. What a pickup.
Yeah.
What an absolute
Yeah.
unit.
Some other ones I thought you would name because they were off some of our better defenses. Tim Jennings, Henry Melton.
Those guys were all right. I was never. Tim Jennings had a lot of
Come on, Tim Jennings
interceptions.
made the Pro
He
Bowl.
had a lot of
Don't
interceptions
hate on
one
my
year.
boy Tim.
That's true. He was like a practice squad guy that ended up being like a good player, though, to be fair.
Mike Nugent,
I didn't even know he played for us.
Connor Barth. I mean, do I need to
The
continue?
Barth, man. That's
Thomas
crazy.
Jones too.
Thomas
Thomas
Jones, there's a
Jones.
good one.
Yeah.
Man, that guy was awesome.
Yeah.
He was
All
really
right.
good. Okay. All right, I got Nah, I don't know if I got one. I'll just skip. Let's move on. My prediction. Oh, did you see how that popped? The Bears, the Bear logo. I'm going Bears 2017. That would be the second straight week I picked the Bears. Don't know if that's good luck or bad luck, but honestly, like this team hasn't won a game, and since get this team hasn't won a game. I know the date since October 24th of 2022. So if we don't win in the next like 3 or 4 weeks, then we could go an entire year without winning a game. I don't think that's ever happened in the Bears like franchise history.
We're not going over. We're not that bad, but
No, I'm not
yeah.
saying 0 for 16 or 0 for 17, but I'm saying we've lost 11 straight. So if we lose 6 more games, that's like going 0 and 17.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I'll tell you what, Steve Mariucci's got a nice job now, and he didn't do a good job in Detroit.
no. Yeah.
Luge. No, I like your pick here. I'm gonna go 23. I'm gonna go 23-17 Bears. I don't know why, because the offense absolutely showed me nothing that would tell me that we could even get to 20. But I do think that a turnover or two sets us up in the red zone, or just something for cheap
Yeah.
points. And
Yeah.
I think we make another play late, and I think we somehow get out of Tampa Bay, probably with Gronk on our airplane, and somehow we're 1-1 going into the Chiefs' Kingdom, Red Kingdom,
Yeah.
next Sunday. So
Dang.
I'm going to go 23-17.
Setting up that absolute battle for the century with the Chiefs.
Well, I was there for the last one, and boy, it was not pretty.
Ironically enough, the Bears are playing the Bucs and the Chiefs are playing the Jags. So they're both like in the state of Florida this week and they're both playing each other next week. Also, they're both 0 and 1. So if they if they both don't win, then you know what they say, isn't it? Like if you're 0 and 2 or is it 0 and 3? I think it's like 0 and 2. If you go like 0 and 2, your percentage of chances to go to the playoffs is just like crazy
It
slim.
drastically jumps. Yeah, down.
Yeah.
It's like, what does it go to, like under 20%?
Something crazy like that. I definitely feel
Leave that
like
up to Raji.
yeah, we definitely need to win this game. If we don't win this game, then I feel like for sure 0 and 3. I don't even remember who we play after we play the Chiefs, but it's probably going to be maybe the Broncos. So,
I feel like this is going to be a game that if you don't win, you and I look back and we're like, man, if we, you know how we always do that before we do this segment, like, man, we could be 7-3 if we just would have
oh, I
did
know.
this, did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's not going to make the difference in a playoff run. I just don't think we're there yet this year, but it could mean the difference of going from 2 wins to maybe 6 or 7 wins, and just slowly snowballing this winning program into something that that could be special. Hopefully, at least that we want. So
Yeah. I'm actually starting to think that maybe this show is the problem with the Bears. Because if you look at it, when we started this show, the Bears were like 5 and 1 in Nagy's 2020 season. And then after they went 5 and 1 to start, they went 3 and 7 the rest of the year. The next year they were like 6 and 11, and last year they were 3 and 14.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of losses since we started doing this show.
We do, but to be fair, I feel like the Bears and the coaching staff needs to be listening to this podcast. Tap in here. There's some good content. We know a thing or two about the old pigskin.
We know a lot.
I just think they're not listening. So
Yeah.
maybe Nagy. I know Nagy did.
Yeah, we watch football. We know what works and what doesn't.
I've sold some shoes.
Yeah. Curls, curls, curls. Nothing but curls. Oh man. All right. You got anything else?
No. Hey,
Well,
shoot us a comment in the bottom what you think the score is going to be. Scott mentioned anybody that guesses the score correct, he will send them a brand new tennis racket on mail.
wow, that's
So
crazy.
if anybody guesses the score completely right before kickoff tomorrow, you're going to get a brand new Penn tennis racket. So
Yeah. That's not even a tennis racket brand, but
let's
good job.
Let's interact, YouTube. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
All right. Well, that'll be all for us this week, and don't forget to turn up the TV and bear down.